Train Your Caterpillar, a spiritual life coaching channel. You're very welcome here. Thank you very much for checking out the video. This video is going to be about the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is orange. It's kind of a reddy orange thing I've got going on here. If you don't know much about the chakras, I have done another video, like an introduction to the chakras, so I recommend watching that first, because not everybody has the same blocks, you know, but I find that I struggle with the root chakra, the sacral chakra, which is why I have a lot to say about it. This one and the root chakra. So the sacral chakra, there's, you know, there's the seven main chakras that people talk about, and the sacral chakra is the second one, the second from the bottom. So it's kind of around about, it's just underneath your navel. Sometimes people call it the navel chakra as well, but yeah, the sacral chakra, it's just kind of underneath your belly button. The color is orange. This chakra is associated with emotions and feelings, and it can become blocked at any time, but it does have a tendency, the root chakra and the sacral chakra have a tendency to become blocked in childhood. The root chakra for different reasons, which, you know, if you find that you struggle with the root chakra, I have a video about that too. But the sacral chakra, because it is the seat of emotions and it is the seat of self-expression, they often call it the seat of the soul. If you were in some kind of situation in childhood where emotions were not encouraged to be expressed, like maybe you came from a very traditional background where, you know, emotions weren't really a thing, it didn't really matter, you know, or like children should be seen and not heard, or every time you opened your mouth to say something, I don't know, maybe you had this could be parents or siblings or, you know, a gran or whatever, you know, every time you opened your mouth to say something, someone would be like, oh, that's ridiculous, like, stop bothering me with your ridiculous feelings, like, I've got so much to do, you're being overly dramatic, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, or like, oh, I don't know, if someone said to you, like, I don't know, maybe if you were crying, right, and your parent was like, stop crying, what are you crying about, you've got nothing to cry about, you're fine, you know, this kind of thing, like just constantly sort of stopping you from expressing your emotions, like making you feel like it was not okay to express emotions, making you feel that your emotions were kind of getting in the way of them living their life, them living their best life, you know, or maybe you had kind of an emotionally unstable parental figure or caregiver, and you learned that it was just easier just to repress those emotions, to, like, you know, that basically when you repressed your emotions everything was fine, you know, and that's kind of how you learned to live your life, like, you know, oh, if I repress my emotions people will love me, or if I repress my emotions I'm much less likely to, you know, get a mouthful of abuse or whatever, or I'm much less likely to set off the caregiver, you know, that's how it gets blocked. It's how it gets blocked, because the sacral chakra, it can either be too open, it can be too closed, or it can be balanced. So you're looking for balanced, because if it is closed, you're not really in touch with your emotions, you're just kind of going through the motions, right? You're not really taking time out to kind of feel things. And if it's too open, you can be too overly emotional. Maybe you're crying a lot, or maybe you just, like, you know, you're very emotional when it's not really necessary, or it's not really appropriate, or you don't really want to be that emotional, but it's kind of happening anyway, right? Whereas if you know, if it's closed, you're much more likely to just have your emotions repressed. And if you're repressing your emotions, you're not really expressing yourself, you know, because it's really important. It's like, what am I feeling at the moment? Am I feeling content? Am I feeling anxious? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling worried? Because a lot of the time, if you speak to someone with a blocked sacral chakra and you ask them how they're feeling, they won't be able to tell you. Because this is one that I struggle with a lot. I've done a lot of work on it recently. But it's almost like you're a robot. That's what I kind of found. You know, it was like, it doesn't matter what I'm feeling. It just matters that I get X, Y, and Z done, you know? And particularly for a woman, because the sacral chakra is like the seat of femininity. So particularly for a woman, or the feminine, if this is blocked, you may find that you are not expressive in terms of your home. You know, like you may find that you don't really want to decorate it, or you have no interest in decorating it. And I'm not talking about wallpaper and matching carpet samples. I'm talking about a painting, or a nice plant, or a nice candle, or a cushion, you know, or a nice like throw or something, right? Like wanting your home to feel nice, wanting your home to feel like, you know, a place where it's comfortable to live. And also, you know, taking care of your appearance, right? Because if it's closed, your sacral chakra is closed, you kind of just gloss over that stuff. And it's really just about X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm just going to shut down my emotions and I'm just going to get these jobs done. And it often is associated as well with a blocked root chakra, because, you know, the root chakra is all about like fear. So if you're living in a state of fear all the time and you feel like your basic needs are not going to be met, like you don't feel secure, you don't feel safe, you don't feel like you've got enough money, that then is going to transfer to your sacral chakra, because it's basically not possible for your sacral chakra to be open until your needs are being met, right? Yes, it's also because the sacral chakra is about, the root chakra is about I need, and the sacral chakra is about I want. So it's once your basic needs have been met with the root chakra, then you start to think about, what do I want? What do I actually want? Now that I don't have to work because it's a necessity, for example, or I don't have to like work, everybody has to work, unfortunately, but like work yourself into the ground, you know? Like once you've got that kind of stable root chakra, then you can start to think about the sacral chakra, your emotions, how am I feeling, what do I want? Because this is also, the sacral chakra is about joy. If it's closed, you will find it very difficult to feel joy in your day-to-day activities, because you're not feeling your own emotions. You're just kind of going through life like a robot. The sacral chakra is one of the ones that's most difficult to identify, like to determine, to explain, I think. It's also about your seat of intuition, because it's about your feelings. So you know, your intuition is about your feelings, right? It's not about what you can see logically happening, it's about what you feel. And it's also about creativity, because like this one, the sacral chakra and the throat chakra are about creativity, because if it's blocked, your sacral chakra, like the seat of your soul, you know, the seat of your self-expression, your emotions, then you're not able to create anything because you're not expressing yourself. So if you're someone that finds it difficult to sort of take joy in the moment, to be kind of happy in the moment, to feel content in the moment, it might be that you have a blocked sacral chakra. Because often when I put on the sacral chakra frequency, I will find almost immediately that I feel a lot more content, you know, a lot more like, oh, this is nice, like, you know, instead of kind of running around doing lots of chores, you know what, I'm gonna have 10 minutes to myself and enjoy what I'm doing, right? And you feel a lot more relaxed and happy. Also with the sacral chakra, if it's blocked, it will be difficult for you to feel comfortable in your own skin. You know, if you're one of those awkward people like I am, you know, you maybe feel always a bit gangly, or you know, you're a bit awkward at moving your body. That can also be like your sacral chakra, like you don't feel kind of comfortable in your own body, in your own skin. But yeah, if it's overactive as well, you might have like extreme mood swings and find yourself being hypersensitive all the time, and like crying a lot, you know, being easily emotionally overwhelmed. And usually the thing is with the chakras as well, I found this, like, there's usually a discrepancy, because I struggle a lot with my solar plexus chakra, but I find that my heart chakra is like way too open. So, but I'll have like my throat chakra will be quite closed and my solar plexus will be closed, but my heart chakra will be wide open. So it's like when these two are out of balance, it kind of opens another one too much. So maybe if your sacral chakra is too open, it's kind of because you're struggling with confidence, because your solar plexus chakra is a little closed, maybe, right? So yeah, that's the sacral chakra. It doesn't have to become blocked in childhood, of course it doesn't have to be childhood. This could be something, maybe you got yourself into a toxic relationship or a toxic friendship when you were older, right? You know those people that you get, and it could be something as simple as, like, say it's a friend, you know, and it's like, do you want to go out for dinner? Like, yeah, okay, you know, where do you want to go? And you're like, oh, you know, I thought I'd quite like to try that new Italian place that's opened. And this friend is like, oh, I don't want to go there because, you know, I don't really think it's a good restaurant. Like, it doesn't look very good and blah, blah, blah. I think we should go to this other place. And you're like, oh, you know, we go there all the time. That's what you want to say. You want to say like, oh, but we go there all the time because you always choose the restaurants. But if your sacral chakra is blocked, it's like that kind of little bit of anger or that little bit of resentment that you feel towards your friend for not listening to you and not caring about what you want, you just repress it and you go, okay, let's just do what you want, that's fine. That's why the sacral chakra and the throat chakra are both very linked. She says with her throat chakra closing up. They're both very linked, I think. You know, because the sacral chakra is like you're feeling the emotions, and the throat chakra is you speaking them. So there's usually a link there. Like, I find if one is closed, you might struggle with the other. You know, or like maybe you were in a toxic relationship where it was just, you basically had to learn how to repress your feelings, because if you didn't do it, you know, the other person would just make your life a misery because they don't care. They don't care about how you're feeling. That's usually how it starts. It's usually some kind of long-term situation where you're dealing with someone that doesn't care about how you feel. They only care about their own emotions, and your emotions don't matter. So it's also something to watch out for. If you feel like you have someone like that in your life, it's pretty important to get rid of them, basically. You know, like, obviously try to express yourself to the person first, you know, and be like, oh, you know, this is how you make me feel. You make me feel worthless. You make me feel like you don't care about my opinions. And if they're just, you know, then they're just gonna like shout you down or whatever, it's time to go. You know, sorry to be harsh, but so that's the sacral chakra. I'm going to talk about some ways to open it. So obviously I will leave the meditations and stuff in the description box, but I usually go to sound healing first because that's just what I like. But you can use, each chakra resonates at a different frequency, so you can use different frequencies. There's a million of them online that are all wonderful on YouTube that, you know, you can listen to overnight or during the day to help unblock or balance it. I should say balance, because some people will have it too open. I'll leave the links to the ones that I use in the description box, but like I say, all of them work. What I would say though is, like, if you're new to the chakra opening thing, don't try to don't listen to these meditations and stuff at work or on the bus or whatever, because you'll be surprised at what comes out the first time. Because, you know, the first time I listened to the sacral chakra stuff, I just started crying because it's obviously all these tears and like this sadness and like this stuff that wasn't able to come out before. Because maybe someone told you like, oh, you shouldn't cry. God, like, what are you crying about? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're always crying, and you're not, you know, because crying's important. It's a release of emotions. I mean, obviously if you're crying all the time, that's not healthy, and some people use it for like attention or whatever, but a lot of the time, you know, if someone has upset you, because that used to happen to me a lot, like someone would say something nasty and then I would cry, and then they'd be like, oh, why are you crying? So at some point you just have to, you know, you've just learned to shut that part of you down. So yeah, that's what I was getting back to. Like, make sure with the sacral chakra you're not kind of trying to do these frequencies and stuff like in public. Wait till you're alone. So you can use the frequencies, the meditations, you can use affirmations. You can use, the color is orange, so wearing orange, eating orange foods like an orange, or anything else that's orange, like not processed orange shit like Doritos or something, but you know, like yeah, healthy orange food. You can use orange crystals. The chant for the sacral chakra is VAM, so if you type that, you know, if you Google that or YouTube it, like it'll, I'm not going to do it because I feel silly, but yeah, you'll be able to hear what it sounds like. What else? Taking some time out for yourself is a good way to try and open the sacral chakra. It resonates with water, so going for a bath is one that a lot of people use, like a bath or a shower. Going swimming is a good way to open the sacral chakra. But you'll find it's like a catch-22 as well. Like, the more you kind of work to open the sacral chakra, the more you will see the effects of it. Because I never used to decorate anything. I just used to live like a Spartan. You know, there would just be like nothing in the house. And since I started working on the chakra, you know, I've started getting like candles and like plants and little ornaments and, you know, stuff like that, like paintings to make it home. But I didn't have any of that stuff before. Honestly, I was like a Spartan. It was like, I was like an army person, like just the basics, you know. So you'll find that the more you unblock this chakra, the more that stuff starts to develop naturally. But that's a way to open it, is to kind of spoil yourself a little bit, you know, to be like, you know, when you're out in the shops and you're like, oh, I really like that cushion, and I know it's a tenner, oh, I shouldn't really, but just do it. Just get it anyway. Do something nice for yourself, you know. But like I said, they kind of go hand in hand. The more that you try to open this, the more you'll find you're kind of dealing with your feminine energy, because the sacral chakra is quite a lot about, it's the seat of the divine feminine, you know, because obviously it's next to the womb and all this kind of stuff. So it kind of helps you get in touch with like your feminine side as well, right? Even for guys, you know, because we have this thing in society where it's like, oh, men don't have emotions. Of course you do. Of course you do. You know, and you would be a lot happier, like, if there wasn't always someone telling you like, oh, you should never cry, or like you have to be big man all the time. Like, sure, when you're out and about, be the big man and, you know, all that kind of stuff, but you know, your home is your home. If you want to feel emotions and cry, then that's what you should be doing, right? So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope this was a useful video. Many thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me. You know, if you feel like doing that, I'd appreciate it so much. And as always, many blessings, love and light.